Can you believe there are places like this in the world? Today, we will show you the top 10 most notorious and brutal prison in history. Let's go. Number 10, welcome to Alcatraz, located on the infamous Rock in San Francisco Bay. Opened in 1934, this high-security prison housed some of America's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly. Known for its harsh conditions, inmates faced isolation, relentless cold, and a strict regime. The prison's infamous escape attempts, most notably the 1962 escape of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, highlighted its brutal environment. Although it closed in 1963, Alcatraz remains a chilling symbol of the dark side of incarceration. Today, as tourists visit the island, one can't help but feel the lingering presence of those who were imprisoned here. Number 9. La Santé Prison, a place synonymous with overcrowding and despair. Opened in 1867, La Santé quickly gained notoriety for its high-profile inmates and brutal treatment. Harsh discipline was the norm, and the lack of hygiene led to rampant disease, turning the prison into a breeding ground for suffering. The prison's reputation for violence and despair made it a feared institution, where many inmates struggled to survive the mental and physical toll of their confinement. La Santé stands as a chilling testament to the human capacity for cruelty and the devastating consequences of neglecting the basic needs of those imprisoned. Number 8. Carandiru Penitentiary in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a place where the thin veneer of civilization was stripped away, revealing the raw brutality of human nature. Carandiru was one of Brazil's largest prisons until its closure in 2002. With a capacity for 8,000 inmates, it often held more than 30,000, leading to unimaginable overcrowding and violence. The infamous 1992 massacre, where police killed over 100 inmates during a riot, stands as a chilling testament to the brutal reality of life within Carandiru. Life here was marked by gang violence, corruption, and inhumane living conditions, making it a chilling example of prison life gone wrong. Carandiru Penitentiary stands as a stark warning against the dehumanizing effects of overcrowding and the desperate measures that can erupt when human beings are stripped of their dignity and hope. Number 7. San Quentin, California's Penitentiary of Shadows. Our journey through the world's most haunting prisons takes us now to the United States, to San Quentin State Prison, California's oldest prison, a place steeped in a dark and violent history. Established in 1852, San Quentin has long been synonymous with punishment and despair. It houses death row and has witnessed countless executions, the spectre of death a constant presence within its walls. Inmates at San Quentin faced a brutal reality: violence, overcrowding, and a pervasive culture of fear that permeated every aspect of life within the prison walls. San Quentin has been the backdrop for countless tales of brutality, making it a key player in the narrative of America's penal system. Number 6. Rikers Island, a microcosm of failure. We remain in the United States, but our focus shifts now from the chilling history of San Quentin to the present-day reality of Rikers Island, perhaps the most infamous jail in the United States. Opened in 1932, Rikers Island serves as a holding pen for those awaiting trial and convicted offenders, a sprawling complex of despair and neglect. Overcrowding and a chronic lack of mental health resources have created a breeding ground for violence, both among inmates and staff. Many consider Rikers Island a microcosm of the failings of the American prison system, a stark indictment of a system that often seems more focused on punishment than rehabilitation. Number 5. Punta Carretas Prison, from prison to shopping mall. Our journey now takes us to Montevideo, Uruguay, where we encounter the unsettling transformation of Punta Carretas Prison, a place that once epitomized the brutality of incarceration, but now stands as a starkly different kind of monument to consumption. Opened in 1896, Punta Carretas quickly gained notoriety for its harsh conditions, overcrowding, and the political repression that flourished within its walls, particularly during Uruguay's military dictatorship. Torture was commonplace, and the living conditions were deplorable, pushing inmates to the very edge of human endurance. Today, Punta Carretas prison stands as a shopping mall, its grim past seemingly erased by the relentless march of commercialism. The transformation of Punta Carretas prison serves as a disquieting reminder of the complex relationship between past and present and the ways in which societies grapple with the legacy of their darkest chapters. Number 4. Our exploration of the world's most haunting prisons brings us now to the bustling streets of Bangkok, Thailand, where we encounter the notorious Bangkok Hilton, a nickname given not to a single prison, but to a collection of facilities known for their harsh conditions and brutal treatment of inmates. The most infamous of these is Klong Prem Central Prison, a place where the line between justice and cruelty becomes blurred beyond recognition. Within its walls, inmates face a living nightmare: overcrowding, rampant corruption, and the constant threat of violence from both guards and fellow prisoners. Drugs and gang violence are endemic within the Bangkok Hilton, and the lack of proper medical care only exacerbates the suffering of those imprisoned here. The stories that emerge from the Bangkok Hilton paint a harrowing picture of human resilience in the face of unimaginable suffering. Number 3. The Gulags, a vast network of labor camps that stand as a chilling symbol of political repression and human cruelty. Established during Stalin's regime, the Gulags were designed to break the spirit of those deemed enemies of the state. Millions of people, political prisoners, criminals, and innocent civilians caught in the crosshairs of a totalitarian regime were sent to these remote outposts of suffering. Life in the Gulags was defined by an unending struggle for survival. Inmates faced unimaginable hardships: extreme cold, forced labor, starvation, and disease. The vastness of the Siberian wilderness seemed to mirror the vastness of their suffering. The stories of those who survived are testaments to the enduring strength of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable cruelty. The Siberian Gulags serve as a chilling reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating human cost of totalitarian regimes. Number 2. Prison Maze, a place synonymous with the long and bloody conflict known as the Troubles. Opened in 1971, the maze was designed to house paramilitary prisoners from both sides of the conflict, Republicans and Loyalists. Within its walls, the tensions and violence of the outside world were amplified, creating a volatile and dangerous environment. The maze was notorious for its hunger strikes, acts of desperate protest undertaken by prisoners demanding to be recognized as political prisoners rather than common criminals. The most infamous of these strikes, led by Bobby Sands in 1981, captured the attention of the world and cast a harsh spotlight on the plight of those imprisoned within the maze. Prison Maze closed its doors in 2000, but its legacy continues to cast a long shadow over Northern Ireland. Number 1. Tadmor Prison. Our final destination on this journey through the world's most haunting prisons takes us to the Syrian desert, to Tadmor Prison, a place shrouded in secrecy and infamous for its brutal treatment of political prisoners. Built by the French in the 1930s, Tadmor Prison became a symbol of oppression and terror under the rule of Hafez al-Assad. Within its walls, torture was commonplace, and executions were often carried out with shocking brutality. The prison's remote location in the middle of the Syrian desert only added to its sense of isolation and despair. The most notorious incident at Tadmor Prison occurred in 1980, when, following a failed assassination attempt on Hafez al-Assad, hundreds of prisoners were massacred by Syrian security forces. Tadmor Prison was officially closed in 2016, but its legacy of terror continues to haunt Syria. As we conclude our journey through some of the world's most haunting prisons, we are left with a profound sense of unease. The pursuit of justice, dignity, and human rights must be our constant endeavor, ensuring that these places remain as haunting reminders of a past we must never repeat.